Oh, hey guys. Welcome to today's episode of It Was Working Just Fine Yesterday. Today, we're going to be working on Big Red, a 1976 Toyota LandCruiser. The last video I made on Big Red, I had fixed the drive shaft, the rear drive shaft to be specific, because for some reason it just decided to turn into a vanilla swirl for absolutely no reason. But today, we're going to be working on something. I don't know exactly what's wrong with it. I turn the key and the starter goes... and that's it. It doesn't like crank over, it doesn't turn on, like nothing. So I'm not sure what it is. I made sure the carburetor has enough gas in it to start. The battery's fully charged, so I don't know. It could be an electrical thing, it could be the distributor, it could be spark plugs went bad, it could be, you know, a lot of different things. Maybe the carburetor itself just is bad and we need a new one. Who knows? In this video, we're going to try and figure out what is wrong with it because, you know, it needs to be solved. I want to drive my truck because it looks cool, it sounds cool, and it needs to be driven. So let's start doing that. Let's actually get stuff done.
Now, there's not really a lot that could be wrong with this thing. I mean, it has mostly new components to get it running. New radiator, new starter, alternator, I think is new-ish, maybe. It has a bunch of new things that could, you know, keep it alive, at least. Although, a lot of these parts were replaced like 5 years, 4 years, 5... They were replaced a while ago, and it could need, you know, just basic maintenance stuff, so who knows? By the way, usually when I make these videos, I use my phone as like a microphone, pretty much, but my phone has no more space in it for that, so you're going to be enjoying a lot of camera audio, which is not the best. So my apologies in advance. But right now, what I'm going to check out is the distributor, just to see if it's like dirty or anything, because it could just be corroded. Are you dirty? No, you're not. Okay, well, everything in here looks like it's fine. Nothing in here looks mangled or dirty or anything. I am still gonna wipe it down, you know, just in case, but I highly doubt that this is the issue. Let me show you. Alright, this is the inside of the cap, and that looks still like new, pretty much, because it is new. And this is the rotor thing, whatever this is. And it's still there. I might have to clean off this tip a little bit because it's a little bit corroded, but nothing crazy. Nothing here. That looks fine to me. So, yeah. Alright, I cleaned it off and I put it back together. So I'm going to try and start it. I doubt it's going to do anything, but it's worth a shot. Okay, well that was a better sounding start than before, or than it usually has in this condition. It did kind of like jump, like it wanted to turn on, but it didn't. But it's still giving the same issue, so I don't know. And before any one of my comments starts saying things, yes, I did pump the carburetor before, so the carburetor has gas in it, should be running. The gas tank is full of gas, it's literally at full, or mostly at full. So it has everything it needs to be running. The battery's fully charged. Everything that it could need to turn on, it has it. It just still isn't turning on. And I don't know if y'all hear that or not, but it is starting to rain now. So I'm gonna close this up and then I'm gonna come back here tomorrow or some other day and yeah, I'm gonna do some research, Google a couple of things, see what could possibly be wrong with it. It could be something really simple and stupid, or it could be the hardest freaking thing you could ever do on an engine like this. So, who knows? So it's the next day now. It is nice and sunny and no longer raining. And I did a lot of research. And by a lot, I mean I scrolled through Google for like 5 minutes. But, you know, everything that I looked up and everything that Google said, it said that all the problems could be things that I already switched out on this truck, so I don't know. Everything on here is new, or newer, new enough to where it should be working, and it was working perfectly fine until it wasn't. So the engine does want to turn over, but it just isn't like it's not turning over. Obviously, that's why we're here. Duh. I'm gonna try and take out a spark plug, or maybe 2 spark plugs out from here, just to see if it could be dirty or corroded or burnt out or whatever. You know, because it could probably be the issue. And before I continue, I just want to say I don't know what I'm doing. So, yeah, this problem could be anything. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm looking at. This could be, yeah, so I'm just doing things, just hoping that they might work. Take out. This is the wrong tool. Ow. Ooh, it's black. It's got a black tip, but I mean it's not the worst looking thing ever. So I'm gonna check out this spark plug here though, the neighboring spark plug, just in case, because that could probably have its own issues too. So let's see. This one looks about the same. Nothing different. Oh wait, but look at this. There's something here. Ooh. Hold on, there's something down there. Kind of looks a little weird. Hold on, let me zoom in and show y'all that right there. You see that? You see that? That's crazy. What is that? That don't look normal. We went to go crank it over, and my dad sprayed some starting fluid in the carb, and now it turns on. So it does need some like the carburetor needs some maintenance, and we do have a carburetor rebuild kit. So I'll probably do that eventually. But yeah, it's on. Hopefully it doesn't give us any more problems later on, because if it does, that would suck. Alright, so it has been a couple of days since that last clip and since we got it on and running. And turns out the problem was the carburetor. Now the reason why I thought the problem was electrical is because, well, in case you guys haven't noticed, Big Red is located out in the sticks. And at night on this land, there's a lot of little field mice that like to go around and start chewing on things. So I had thought that, you know, maybe one night after Big Red, you know, was doing Big Red things, a little mouse went in there and was like, "Ooh, this place is nice and warm," and then started chewing on wires. Luckily, that wasn't the problem. Unluckily, it's the carburetor. Now, I'm sure you're all thinking, well, obviously right now this kid is going to install the carburetor rebuild kit that he's had sitting on some shelves for a couple months now. And if you thought that, you thought wrong. But right now, what I am going to do is an oil change, because it's been sitting with the same oil for about 4 or 5 years now. And between me and my dad, we have been beating on this thing, so it could use a good oil change. I was just using it a couple minutes ago though, so I am going to let it cool down for a bit, and after that I'm going to, you know, do the oil change. Okay, so it's been probably about 30 minutes or so. It should be cold enough to where I can drain it. I mean, everything feels pretty cold or cooler. So I'm going to drain this oil, put in the new oil, and then take it for a spin, see if it performs any better. Probably won't, but you know. Dude, why is this in here so tight? Ugh.
This is the moment that this buffoon realized he had everything for an oil change except for the oil filter. And after spending literal hours looking for this filter in his shed, he realized he had already used it in a different LandCruiser.
It's a different day now. So yesterday I spent like a couple hours searching for an oil filter that I had already used in this. This is Big Blue, a 1969 Toyota LandCruiser. It has something that I need. A couple months ago, me and my dad had put a new oil and a new oil filter in this thing to test and see if it has a blown head gasket or not. Spoiler alert, it does. This oil filter actually has 0 miles on it. It is still brand new. All we did was turn this LandCruiser on, but we never actually drove it. So this oil filter is still very much reusable, and I am going to reuse it because I need it. Here we go. Ooh, look at that. That's some blown head gasket oil right there. Yummers. Alright, so while I'm waiting for that oil to drain, I'm gonna clean out this oil filter because it does have a little bit of gunk in it, so. Look at that. Looks like a nice brand new oil filter. Yay! Alright, everything down there is done draining and I already plugged everything back up, so now it is time to put in the brand new oil filter.
Hey, buddy. You notice anything weird about the oil filter?
No? What?
Look really closely.
Oh!
Yeah, you see it now?
It's orange.
No, that's not at all.
I forgot the little rubber thingy that goes into the oil filter, so yeah. Well, now that all the oil is in the engine where it's supposed to be, it is now time to clean up the huge mess that I made. Well, as you all can clearly see, Big Red now works again. It turns on fine, and all the oil is in it, so now it runs good. Now, are there more things that need to be fixed on this truck? Yes. Am I gonna ignore them? Yeah, but until then, until I get nice new shiny parts for this thing, it's gonna be used just like this. So, yeah. I will be working on Big Blue over there eventually, but that is an even bigger problem than what this guy has, so I'm kind of tackling the easier things first. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe so I can keep making these videos because I like doing that. With that all being said, good day.